It's 2020 and Darius is still broken. What is going on? Hello summoners and welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Irene and today we'll be discussing counter picks to the OP champions in 10.14. We'll be going over the runes, builds, and playstyles to effectively counter certain matchups. So the next time you run into one of these characters, you'll have the game knowledge and confidence to bully your opponent. For our question of the day, what character do you think needs a buff? Personally, I feel like Talia has not seen gameplay for a while, and I'd love to see her back on the Rift flying into the side lanes ready to fight. Leave your comments below, and I look forward to seeing your response. And lastly, before we get started, make sure to join our Discord and check out ProGuides.com. There we have courses from your favorite pros like Doublelift and many challenger level coaches who can take your gameplay to the next level. We also have daily live classes from top tier instructors like Zyrene and Mike Young. Don't miss out on these great opportunities to improve and join the community. With that being said, let's jump straight into the video. What better way to start the video than with a Darius counter pick? Not only is he already dominating the top lane, they made changes to Ghost that made the champion have an extra summoner spell to abuse. It's really frustrating dealing with this monster in the top lane because he's tanky and deals a ton of damage. In order to stop the hand of Noxus, we're going with the little Yordle, Kennen. Your ranged harass forces Darius to eventually want to engage, and when he does, he'll pull you in with Apprehend, and at which point, you'll land your Shuriken, activate W, and stun him with a lightning strike, allowing you to kite. At this point, you will have procced Phase Rush, giving you the time to reach your maximum auto attack range and damage Darius. From here, you'll kite forward or backwards depending on where he goes. Just don't bite off more than you can chew by overstepping and somehow finding yourself back in Darius's auto attack range. There are two builds you can go on Kennen. The AD build is designed for you to pressure Darius in the side lane the whole game, while the AP build is more oriented towards team fighting. The attack damage build would consist of Blade of the Rune King, Tabi, Rage Blade, Executioners, and Phantom Dancer. But let's say team fighting is more your style. You want to go with a Hextech Proto Belt, Sork Shoes, Zhonya's Hourglass, Morellonomicon, and Rabadons. An important note on the match is choosing the ideal time to poke Darius. Look to stack up your auto attacks on minions until you get the 4th upgraded auto attack from Electrical Surge. Use this to apply the Mark of the Storm and activate W for more poke. This is going to be the bread and butter for shutting down the Menace himself. Our next counter pick for top lane is going to be Nasus into Hecarim. Your ability to shut down his kit and scale will have the horse running for the hills. When Hecarim engages, simply wither and laugh at him as he loses half his burst damage. From here, open up with your Spirit Fire to shred his armor, and use your Q stacks to burst him down. In most cases, once you have avoided Hecarim's initial engage, you will always win, because you have better sustained damage with your ultimate and Q. Once you get strong enough, if Hecarim gets in range of you, use your slow and the rest is history. For your build, there are two parts to it. You'll want to go Doran's Shield for the early sustain, Sheen, and Kindle Gem for early game damage and cooldown reduction to stack your Siphoning Strike. From there, complete Trinity Force, Merc Treads, Death Stance, Spirit Visage, and build from there. Nasus will have an easy time in this matchup if played correctly, so use these tips to stay ahead. Your main goal is to farm and neutralize Hecarim's E with your slow. Eventually, you will want to reach a point where you can pressure him in the side lane, or group and out DPS him. The jungle position is making an interesting shift with these champions finding more play. Nunu and Vi have been taking over the jungle with their simple playstyle. So we have a couple straightforward counter picks to these junglers who are running rampant. Huge disclaimer for jungle is all about lane priority. This assumes both junglers are inside a vacuum fighting each other. While Nunu runs around with his snowball and pesky ganks, he struggles with champions that can duel him and block his main damage dealer. The counter we are presenting today is Nocturne. If Nunu ever comes running at you with his giant snowball, timing Nocturne's spell shield is as easy as 1, 2, 3 for that free attack speed buff. From there, the rest is history, with Nocturne's straightforward kit as you will outdamage the Nunu and run him down. For your build, you want to go Warrior Red, Merc Treads, Black Cleaver, Yomu's Ghostblade, and top it off with a Death Stance. I just want to add a quick note here. If you aren't focusing the Nunu, feel free to build more lethality to burst squishier targets instead of hitting the tank. Nocturne is a jungler with extremely high carry potential, so here are some tips to make sure you know what to do. You want to focus on farming until level 6 and contesting the scuttle crabs on the side that your lane has priority. Purchase control wards and try to spot out Nunu ganks so you can counter gank wherever he tries to snowball into. When dealing with Vi, you want a champion that can cancel everything she wants to do. Rek'Sai has a strong early game, and with a decent transition going into the mid game as a bruiser tank. If Vi ever attempts to engage on you, time your burrow knockup with her almost hitting you to knock her up mid-air. This is going to be the biggest part to winning this matchup, so pull out your calculators and 5000 IQ minds to pull this heist off. Don't be afraid to contest Vi early because you have the tools to duel and chase her down if she tries to run away. That's right, if you damage Vi and she attempts to escape with her Q, simply ulti her and get right back into the fight in style. Your build is going to consist of a Warrior Enchant on a Stalker's Blade, Merc Treads or Ninja Tabis, Cleaver, Death's Dance, and Steric's Gauge. Once you have that blue smite, shutting down Vi will be easy, so here are some tips to stay on the hunt. Purchase wards and scout where Vi is, because you don't actually have vision while you are burrow, so you can't abuse the knockup mechanic against her. If you ever find yourself knocking up Vi while she is in mid-Q animation, her cooldown will be put to 3, so keep this in mind and look to save your ultimate to chase her down when she tries to get away. Lastly, if you see Vi YOLO ult you, immediately pop your blue smite on her and ulti right away to counter engage. Zed has some of the strongest dueling skills in the game with sustained poke of the assassin class. The best way to bully him is by shutting down everything he wants to do and destroying him in the split push. Lissandra accomplishes this with ease. Anytime from level 2 onward, if Zed ever tries to engage you, proc Aftershock with your Ring of Frost and watch him struggle as he deals 0 damage. Otherwise, slowly poke him down with Ice Shards throughout the laning phase and look to roam. Start off with a Corrupting Potion into Proto Belt, Sork Shoes, Luden's Echo, Oblivion Orb, and Zhonya's Hourglass. This lane is really straightforward once you have the basics down, so here are a couple of tips. We're going to double down on the Q poke as the range of that thing is really long. Break the Ice Shard through minions and have it tip the Zed for damage, allowing you to not only poke, but to push the waves. If killing Zed isn't in the books, you'll be able to push with your minion dematerializer damage bonus and Proto Belt to roam and punish the side lanes from snowballing. Just make sure to use 2 minion dematerializers on melee minions and 1 on caster creeps. If Zed ever fully engages on you or your teammates, use your ultimate accordingly to stop his damage output and laugh at him as you get his Ice Spirit to detonate on his own team. Lastly, don't be afraid to match or pressure him in the side lane since you have many tools to escape and stall if you do ever get caught. Annie is tough to deal with because of her point-and-click burst that can catch anybody off guard. So taking Xerath mid and acting as an artillery machine will ensure that doesn't happen. Due to Annie's one-dimensional playstyle, you will always see if she wants to play aggressively. Abuse your long-range poke to bully her out of the lane and regain mana with your passive auto attacks on minions. Anytime Annie is going to last hit with Q, throw some harass her way with your Q or Eye of Destruction. Always start the lane with Doran's Ring for the mana sustain. From here, purchase Luden's Echo, Sork Shoes, Oblivion Orb, Rabadon's Death Cap, and Banshee's Veil. If played poorly, Annie should almost never reach you, so here are a couple of tips to stay ahead of the curve. If you ever see Annie aggressively walking towards you after level 6 with her shield activated, she's about to flash Tibbers with stun, so you may want to think about preemptively flashing, so keep her summoner spells timed at all times. Otherwise, continue to rain down damage on the enemy team before they have the opportunity to fight your team on equal footing. Countering Ashe and Jhin, similar to jungle, there is a huge disclaimer here. ADCs will never run at each other and fight in a 1v1. The point of these counter picks is to find opportunities to win small trades and build up advantages, eventually leading to an outscale opportunity. A lot of ADC matchups are heavily influenced by the supports, since supports dictate the pace of the bottom lane. Ashe, like many other ADCs, has long-range poke that's annoying to deal with. So why not pick a character that can run her down and also have a global ultimate with Draven? Anytime that Ashe oversteps, control an axe to fly forward and W into it to refresh the cooldown, and then activate your W Blood Rush again to CC her with E followed by your spinning axes. With the Glorious Executioner, look to build Manamune, Berserker's Greaves, Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, Death's Dance, and Mercurial Scimitar. Here are a few notes for this lane. Stand behind minions until she has activated her W, then use the all-in combo of running her down since she can't slow you. You will also easily out DPS her with Hail of Blades as long as you consistently have 2 axes running at once with stand aside ready to go. And lastly, don't be afraid to purchase an early QSS if her ultimate becomes problematic to deal with. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the League of Draven. The man who believes death is glorious while also being the definition of number 4 is Jhin. He can be countered by Vayne by simply farming and outscaling him. Be extremely mindful of Jhin's bread and butter, where he uses his dancing grenade on 2 to 3 minions, only to have it bounce on you for a ton of damage. The main point of this counter pick is Jhin does not have the consistent DPS to deal with Vayne, while she gets to jump around, doing damage while invisible. Your build should start with Blade of the Ruined King, Berserker's Greaves, Rage Blade, Phantom Dancer, and Infinity Edge, with your final item being anything of your desired choice. Brandwin's Omen. 2 quick points on this one. Find opportunities to side lane as Vayne because Jhin cannot match you, so you can create a numbers disadvantage for the enemy team since they need to send multiple people to deal with you. Lastly, if side laning isn't cutting it, just group up and do what Doublelift does to the enemy team, which is to group and pop off. Countering Lulu and Bard. Wait, hold on, didn't we just do these champions last week? Oh, okay. Make sure to check out our last counter pick video for those, just goes to show how strong they are. Instead, this week, we're going to be covering how to beat the Minotaur Alistar. Just keep in mind that support counter picks do not imply that you'll be 1v1ing your opponent in supportal combat, but rather how they interact and what counter matchups can do to shut down the opponent. To beat Alistar, you're going to want to select Janna. Janna should look to constantly harass Alistar level 1 to reduce his resources in potions. Once both parties are level 2, this is when the party really begins. Level up your tornado and continue harassing Alistar how you always have been, with the added twist of landing your Q if Alistar ever tries to engage. Yep, we said it, and we'll say it again. In order to maintain your pressure, you're going to have perfect timing with countering Alistar's Headbutt Pulverize combo by knocking him up. You want to build Relic Shield, Swifty Boots, Ardent Censer, and Athenes. Round out your build with Redemption or Mikhail's, and don't forget to purchase Control Wards. Janna is considered easy to play, but here are a couple of tips to help you dominate the game. After level 6, if Alistar ever gets on top of important carries, ulti him away before he stuns somebody, and allow your team to freely continue DPSing since he has no more ways to get back into the fight. Focus on setting up your own roams and denying his roams with your extra movement speed and your Swifty Boots. Lastly, if all else fails, you outscale Alistar with your enchanting abilities while he's just a cow. That concludes our latest episode of Counter Picks. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to join our Discord below, where we do tons of coaching giveaways and community events. Lastly, don't forget to visit our website at ProGuides.com, where you can receive coaching from pro players, watch live classes, and improve with courses from those pro players. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you very much for watching, and good luck on the Rift.